want to learn how to actually be confident in your 50s. So many women in their 50s struggle with self-image and self-confidence. The body is getting older and it just doesn't feel like how it used to. But I can guarantee you that there is confidence inside you. It's waiting for you to release it. And when you do, the world will shine it back at you. And there's a little known strategy that I have used that helped me to take back my confidence. And anyone can do it. It's so powerful that you will feel a different person when you look back next year. So in this video, I'm going to show you what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to be happy when you look in the mirror. My first tip to work on your self-confidence and self-image is to create a jar of awesome. So when we are very hard on ourselves, perhaps we're very self-critical, and perhaps we're going through quite a tough time in our life where maybe our mood is down and our overall feeling about ourselves is down. And what can happen is that we start to create this negative bias. Okay, so with this negative bias, everything we see and everything that we notice is negative. And what do? We ignore the good. So the good in our day, it might also be the good in other people, the good in ourselves. Does this sound familiar? So in order to overcome this negative bias, we must show our brain the other side. We must draw attention to the positive things in our lives. Okay, so how are we going to do that? One of the most helpful ways is to keep a track of all of the great things that happen to you in life that are awesome. We could do this on a daily basis. We could also do it on a weekly basis. And it can be anything that made you smile or anything that you're grateful for. So I want you to make a list, and I want you to sit down either at the end of the day or at the end of the week and say, what was good today? What was positive today? Anything that made you smile, anything that you're grateful for. So you might say, for example, well, the sun was shining and I had a lovely cup of tea out in the garden. Okay, so put that down. Perhaps you received a phone call from an old friend and had a great catch up. Put that down. Perhaps you were brave, joined a new class at the gym. We want to add that to our list as well. Or maybe you found a new hobby or a new sport that you really enjoy. Put that down. So sharing all of these positive things in our lives with ourselves by writing it down and really taking stock of it is very, very beneficial for us. So clients have found that by doing this exercise, what happens is that their perspective starts to change. And then over time, we start to become more positive and we start to become more hopeful and more confident. So particularly if we're talking about our self-confidence and maybe even our self-image, we've got to do this on a daily basis. We've really got to take the time to say, what am I happy with? What was positive in my day? What is the good that's all going to be around me? Okay, so that's going to be really, really important. The second step that we're going to take is centered around positive self-talk. Okay, so when we talk about self-talk, really it's this inner narrative in our mind. So when we're talking to ourselves, perhaps we're giving ourselves a running commentary of how we're doing, how we're progressing towards a goal, how our life is going, things like that. Okay. And we know that self-talk is really important because how we think affects how we feel. And then we know how we feel is also going to affect how we behave. So if we want good, healthy behavior and we want to feel our best, well, then our thinking is going to need to be good. It's going to need to be positive. It's going to need to be realistic. Okay. So how we talk about ourselves also affects how we feel about ourselves. So clients will often talk about having low self-esteem or having low self-confidence. So if you can imagine, if all we're ever saying to ourselves is very negative, we're making negative comments, we're making criticisms about ourselves, we're judging ourselves, right? Remember, that impacts how we feel and how we behave. So how can we expect to have self-confidence if that's the narrative that's going around and around in our head all the time? So the same goes for these comments that we make when we're working towards making ourselves better. So if we want to work towards a certain goal, we want to improve our lifestyle, maybe we're encountering setbacks on the way, maybe we're doubting ourselves. And this negative self-talk is really going to impact on our performance and the likelihood that we're going to meet our goals. Okay. So negative self-talk, right? It affects our motivation. It's going to affect our performance. It makes us feel stressed. It makes us feel anxious, makes us feel depressed. Okay, so clearly this is something that we've got to work on. We've got to be able to manage it, right? So what I want you to do is to consider how you speak to yourself on a daily basis. Is it mostly positive, or perhaps is it mostly negative? And now I would like you to consider, what do you think is the impact on your self-confidence, on your motivation, how you're feeling about yourself? So I want you to ponder that for a moment or two. By the way, if you're looking for some free trainings to make your weight loss journey easier, click the link in the description below. Let me know where to send them and I'll get them over to you right away. These trainings are packed with reliable and effective strategies to help you achieve your weight loss goals without the gimmicks. They've been used by over 3,000 women to achieve sustainable weight loss. So a common problem that I see with a lot of clients is low self-confidence. The reality is that low self-confidence is going to have a huge impact on us. Because what happens if we have low self-confidence, then sometimes we can feel like we don't deserve good things. So we might say, for example, I don't deserve to lose weight, or I don't deserve to be healthy, or I don't deserve to be happy, or I don't deserve to be successful. I don't deserve to be insert in this space. And then if we're feeling like we're not deserving of all of these good things, what do we start to do? We start to sabotage ourselves. And when we're self-sabotaging, we're acting in ways that are going against our goals. So for example, if we have weight loss goals, then we start to act in ways that are actually going to cause us to put on weight. So we might engage in, for example, emotional eating, which we know is not going to be good for us. Or perhaps we engage in other unhealthy behaviors like excessive consumption of alcohol. Now, I want you to consider, ask yourself this question: do you deserve happiness? Do you deserve good health? And if you do, what are you doing in your day-to-day that's increasing both of these things? So what are you actively doing that's helping you to achieve happiness? What are you actively doing that's helping you to achieve good health? Or perhaps it's the case that you feel you don't deserve happiness and you don't deserve health. So if this is you, then I want you to consider, are there things in your day-to-day that you're doing to jeopardize your health and your happiness? Are you self-sabotaging? And I want you to take a moment or two, write it down. I want you to consider, what are the things that you're doing on a daily or a weekly basis that's jeopardizing your happiness and your health? Now, if anything that I have said so far in this video is resonating with you, it's time to take action. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is to make a commitment to yourself. And with this commitment, you're going to say, I want to improve my confidence. I want to improve my happiness. I want to improve my life. So what you're going to need to do is, on a daily basis, remind yourself that you deserve health and happiness. And you can write it down, you can put it on a notice board, you might put it on the fridge, so it's there visually to help to remind you. You're also going to have to learn to develop your self-talk, so that if you're consistently talking to yourself in a very negative way, you're being very critical, you're being very judgmental, you're putting yourself down all the time, you're going to have to learn how to challenge that. You're going to have to learn how to manage that. And I know none of the above is easy. And I know many clients have felt afraid to try. But fear tells us that we are at a place of opportunity, and we have opportunities to be happier, and we have opportunities to be healthier. Remember, oftentimes fear might be trying to keep us safe, but more often than not, it wants to keep us in the comfort zone. It wants us to stay small, because gosh, what if we go for those goals? What if we go for those things we really want and it doesn't work out for us? That's what fear tries to tell us. So it tries to keep us small, tries to stop us from taking those opportunities, taking those chances, taking on those challenges. But what I need you to work on is overcoming this fear. So you need to start to remind yourself that lots of women, lots of clients have done it, and so can you. And also we need to remind ourselves that nothing worth achieving in life is ever going to be easy. That's not to say that it's going to be overly complicated. It might be simple and effective, but it's not going to be easy. And we're going to have to put a lot of work into it. We're going to have to make that commitment to it. But aren't you worth it? So there you have some tips on how to build your confidence in your 50s. And the only thing stopping you is who? You. So I want you to take some time out every day to practice the tips that we have discussed today. And remember, it's not going to be easy at first, but it's certainly going to be worth it. And more importantly, you are deserving of it. So if you're ready to lose weight in a sustainable way, then I want you to click on the video that's just popped up on the 8 pillars of sustainable weight loss. In this video, you will learn the secrets about how to lose weight without feeling like you're on a diet, without living in the gym, and you don't have to give up your favorite foods. This is about getting sustainable results, even with a busy schedule. All you need to do is click on the video that's just popped up and you'll get taken right to the video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.